Good morning, Mustangs. Happy Wednesday. If you're here, go ahead, say hi in the chat. Let me know how your Wednesday is going, how you're doing. I'm just going to go ahead and grab the link and put it in all the places. Good morning, Mrs. Garcia. I think you're going to love our book talk today if you stick around that long. Awesome. Good morning, Jacqueline. Hey, Danielle. How are you all doing this morning? Oh, Mrs. Garcia, the other thing you'll like today, I was thinking about this morning as I pulled out this mug, is I have out our other matching mug today. I guess it's not totally matching, but, you know, got them at the same time. So, yeah. How's everyone doing this morning? Are we having an awesome Wednesday yet? Or is it mostly just like a 4 minutes after waking up kind of Wednesday? My big realization of the day was that it is already the 29th of April. How in the world did that happen? That seems impossible. March took 18 years, and then April was gone in 2 weeks. I don't know what happened. Yeah, it's a lot. Morning, Alicia. Hey, Gunica. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Marissa. We've been inside for too long. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Because the old adage is time flies when you're having fun, right? So have I been having fun? Honestly, yes. I like being at home. But it's still weird because I was at home for the last 2 weeks of March. How did those feel so long? I'm not sure. All right. Ooh. Yeah, somebody was bringing this up, that the word quarantine has that root quarta in it, which means 40. And so it's supposed to be 40 days, and that we have already gone over that. So we're really in second quarantine right now. Morning, Mom. Yeah, I am also just getting used to it. I miss a couple of things, but in a lot of ways, and I've said this before, in a lot of ways, this is the dream of my little introverted heart, that I get to stay home all the time, and I get to do the things that I want to do, and I get to sort of reach out to friends through video chat, but sort of on our own terms and in our own houses, which is nice. Yeah, this month just totally flew by so fast. I also this morning forgot to pin my hair back a little bit, because that's what I have found is that I'm not supposed to be touching our faces all the time, and when my hair's in my face, I have to touch it and move it, and then I'm touching my face, and it's not ideal. Such is life. So yeah, I'm excited for another Wednesday. I think it'll be hopefully a good day. I'm excited to see everyone in class today, as always. But I think we're going to have a fun class, especially for the AP. So that'll be good. All right, I'm going to jump into the poem. And this is one, seniors, I think we read this poem together. I don't know that we like studied it together, but I think we talked about it when we were looking at like poetry form and structure and like some of the weird forms. Oh, Miss Gertie, feeling good about today. Been low energy, but like good today. Awesome. I'm almost the opposite. I've had really pretty good energy. It was super productive yesterday and Monday. And today I'm just sort of looking for a little bit of rest after a couple days of really hard work. All right, so the poem we're going to read today is Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. So I'm just going to read it. It doesn't need a ton of preface. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at the close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learned too late they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death, who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. So there you go. So seniors, we would have studied that when we were studying villanelles. But it's a pretty famous, popular poem. Oh, Jacqueline, you love it, yeah. And it's really well known. Yeah, the repetition of the title, Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night, and the rage, rage against the dying of the light, that repetition of those lines is actually one of the things that make it a villanelle, which for our sophomores, we certainly haven't studied that. We didn't really study any specific poetry forms, but it's like a sonnet, where it's a poem with a really strict form, sort of the opposite of like free verse poetry. You read it in 7th grade, found it inspiring. Awesome. Oh, I didn't even realize that there were parts of it quoted in Independence Day. Yeah, it's a good poem. It's sort of well known. Dylan Thomas wrote it for his father, who is dying of cancer. So that was sort of like his tribute and his poem to his father. All right, so let's get into this book talk. I'll be honest, y'all, I'm running out of books to talk. I gotta read faster because we're going through the books that I have access to real quick. Hey, Tisha. And then I say that like real quick, and then I realize I've been doing a book talk every weekday for like 6 weeks. So I'm actually getting through a lot of books here. And I don't have that many that I like have physically. Again, a lot of those are in the classroom. And then the ones that I don't have physically, I have to see if I can find like a digital copy somewhere. So here's what I decided to do. I feel like this one's kind of cheating because I already book talked a book earlier in the series. So that's my preface, but we're going to book talk today. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. It's so heavy. It's hard to hold up. So we already book talked the first book, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And the reason I decided to like not just jump from like the first to the second book, I went from the first book to the last book. I knew I would predict correctly. I knew this is a good call for Miss Garcia. But so the reason that I went all the way to the seventh book is because, and this is sort of a secondary recommendation. I don't know if you all listen to podcasts, but there's a great podcast called Harry Potter and the Sacred Text. And so it's a couple of, the hosts are people who went to divinity school and so have this background in religion and spirituality. And they read Harry Potter as if it were a sacred text, like the Bible or the Quran or the Talmud. And so it's a really interesting premise. But what I like about it is the attention that they pay to the reading, I think is in a lot of ways the type of close reading and the type of attention that we should be paying to reading in general, whether we want to call it a sacred text or not. Yeah, Gunica, it is a long book. I mean, it is hefty. I want to say it's like this edition of it is over 750 pages. It's long. And then when you put that in with the rest of the series, it's a long series. Danielle, you got to get on it. It's a good book series. So in the podcast, they've been reading through the entire series, starting with book 1, going all the way to book 7. And this season of the podcast is when they're finally getting to book 7. And my friend and I she was the one who sort of like got me thinking about this podcast. I started listening to it. We talk about it together. We've read the Harry Potter series together in the past. And she had the idea to read, the way that the podcast does it is they do one chapter at a time. So they read a chapter and then they talk about the chapter and use all these like reading practices to try to understand it better. So she mentioned that she was going to read the final book as they're doing the final series. Again, one chapter at a time, so that she's keeping up with it. So I started doing that too, and I just reread the first chapter of this novel so that I could do it with her. So that's sort of the reason that I jumped to this last one. And of course, it also is the bookend. So I'm going to go ahead and read the, let's see. Instead of reading the first chapter, I'm going to read this sort of, at least in my edition, there's a page before it starts. Alicia, you've read all of them except Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Yeah, so Cursed Child is definitely not like within this series. It's almost like a companion book based on the play that they made. So I also haven't read Cursed Child. I don't know if I will or not. Probably someday. All right. So I'm going to read this little bit of stuff that it has before the novel begins. Oh, the torment bred in the race, the grinding scream of death, and the stroke that hits the vein, the hemorrhage none can staunch, the grief, the curse no man can bear. But there is a cure in the house, and not outside it, no. Not from the others, but from them, their bloody strife. We sing to you, dark gods beneath the earth. Now hear, you blissful powers underground. Answer the call, send help. Bless the children, give them triumph now. And that was from Aeschylus, the libation bearers. And the second one says, death is but crossing the world. As friends do the seas, they live in one another still. For they must needs be present, that love and live in that which is omnipresent. In this divine glass they see face to face, and their converse is free as well as pure. This is the comfort of friends, that though they may be said to die, yet their friendship and society are, in the best sense, ever present because immortal. And that was from William Penn, More Fruits of Solitude. So those of you who have read the books or read the series, even seen the movies, you might be able to see how some of those ideas, those themes, are repeated throughout the text. And that's the purpose of something like that, a poem or a statement at the beginning of a book, is to sort of mirror the themes and give a reader a feel for what's going to come up without getting straight into the plot. So I really recommend these books. I have reread them a lot of times, and they're just awesome. They're long, but they go really fast. So if you get a chance, I know I talked about the first book a few weeks ago, but no, that's the 7th. It's a really great series. It really sort of grows up as it goes along, which I think was just as fun to read in like quick succession, right? Seeing that growth process of the characters, but also of the writing, as it was to read it that way when I was growing up with it. So there you go. So that was me today. Awesome. What else do we got today? Any other big questions, comments, statements about how much we love Harry Potter? I think when we did the first one, we guessed my house and we guessed it correctly. But I'm curious what all of your houses are. For those of you who don't remember, I am, of course, a Ravenclaw. I know Miss Garcia is a Hufflepuff. What are the rest of you? It's sort of a weird question. What are the rest of you? Got a couple more Ravenclaws. Awesome. Yeah, I Hufflepuff and get made fun of by my friends. No way. Hufflepuffs are the best. I wish I were a Hufflepuff. They are better people than all of us. Fun fact, fun Harry Potter fact. When I was in college, I was in like the honors program at our school, and the honors program had like a dorm where pretty much all of the honor students would be, right? There's like an athletic dorm, an honors dorm. It's just sort of how the school was. And the honors dorm had recently been renovated. And when they were sort of building it up, they put together, they called this like main area the Great Hall. And it had like 2 towers on the other sides. So they started making it like, we would think of it as almost like the Harry Potter dorm. Like it was supposed to be like a Hogwarts-esque thing. We had a Yule Ball every year. And then the guy who was in charge of the whole dorm had like a replica sorting hat. And that was like the first thing that you would do. You would go meet him. And while you were there, like his sort of thing to make you feel comfortable is he'd put the sorting hat on your head, you'd take a little quiz, and you would be sorted. And it was so funny to live in the honors dorm. Like 70% of the dorm was Ravenclaw. Because Ravenclaws are nerds. Such is life. Oh, we have a Griffin Hufflewin. Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Slytherin. It's a lot. Awesome. Cool. Well, we'll sort of wrap up for the day. I hope you all have an awesome Wednesday, that you get to be productive or get to rest well, or, you know, something for sure. Hopefully make it a great Wednesday. Cool. All right. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Always remember who you are, what you represent, and to show your Mustang pride. See you later.